Hi beautiful souls, welcome back to the channel, Beautiful Awakening with Shantia. Welcome to another pick a card reading with me. So in today's pick a card reading, we're going to be looking into your month of January, and I think this is a celebratory topic to look into because this is the first month of the year, and we are getting a peek into how your year is going to be kicking off. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out the 2026 forecast video I did where you can get an even bigger picture of what your 2026 is going to look like. So I'm excited to do this reading for you guys. I am in the midst of moving, so it's interesting. I have just, honestly, a very small selection of tarot cards with me, and I'm sending my larger collection ahead of me. So I got less cards we're working with, but for the most part, I think this is all going to come together just beautifully. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out any of the videos on my other channel. I have been talking about for like the last 5 to 6 videos, I've been talking about the Monster Inside series that I've been meaning to complete and finish, and I finally got around to completing it. And yeah, it's super insightful in terms of helping me to understand more of that darker psychology to humans and why they end up taking those darker action steps, and willpower is a huge part of that. So check that out. Check out any of the other videos. I have a astrological forecast video that will be coming up on that channel. Right now I'm shooting this kind of like mid-December, and I need to get all this done because I'm leaving right at the tail end of the month. So I need to just have this ready so I can edit and upload it for you guys, and pack everything away. And then the astrological forecast, I just need my slides for that one. So that'll be a little bit easier for me to put together. And ideally I'm going to shoot it soon, in a week. And I will be uploading that ideally right before the year starts so that you guys have a full big picture of what your 2026 is gonna look like. I'm so excited for this year. I did meditations for each of the group. I pulled crystals. I created an oracle card design, and I gotta say that the energy that is kicking off this year is really nice. It's actually a really beautiful energy. The main theme that we're getting for this month is next level growth. Next level growth. All right, let's just go ahead and introduce the groups and the oracle cards. And I used a combination of AI and yeah, I think I used AI for all of them. And then I did, kind of collaging. I mixed certain images together just to get it just right the way I wanted it to. So very unique themes are coming through for this 2026. I just want to let you guys know, thank you so much for being here with me in this 2025 for any of the videos that you've watched, likes, commented on, supported. I really appreciate that. And I hope that this has been helpful to your journey in some way, shape, or form. I am definitely growing and learning alongside everyone else. I don't really consider myself just like a teacher or whatever. I consider myself a student teacher because I like to talk. I like to teach certain concepts and ideas, but I'm learning in the midst of this training, and I will always see myself as such because that's where I glean the most value. So I hope you're gaining a lot. I hope, if anything, I think the main message that was coming through for this year that I've been learning is that I'm safe. I'm secure. So I hope you have been growing in that theme for yourself, is understanding that you are safe and secure. All right, let's go ahead and introduce the groups. All right, so this is your January 2026. So the theme that I wanted to share for each of these oracle card designs is sort of a illustrative collage, because I was getting a very lighthearted energy for each of these groups, and collage and illustration takes me to my childhood. It takes me to when I would read those storybooks. So for you, group number 1, you have this really interesting trio with the wolf, the squirrel, and the squid. There's a bush, and there's a lot of other interesting things happening that we're going to also talk about for your oracle card design. Group number 2, you have, let's just call this one level completion because it's got words on it and that makes it a lot easier for us. But we got this joyous green character here at the center of this city line design. And group number 2, you got Betty Boop. And that was a crazy channeling that just decided to pop into my head straight from when I was, I don't know, in 1st grade, I think. That's where that memory came from. So you got Betty Boop. She's in front of this beautiful sunburst and oceanic scene, and there's a fish next to her. Let's go ahead and start your meditation. Here is your singing bowl. Alright, group number 1, if you chose this lovely trio with the squid, wolf, and squirrel, we're going to go ahead and start with you. Hey group number 1, welcome to your reading. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and dive into talking about your oracle card design, what I was picking up in the meditation. So for the crystal, I believe you got Unikite. This is called Unikite here. My cute little Unikite. And this crystal inspired the theme for the rest of the oracle card designs. I usually get a bit of a collaging theme in this crystal. It looks like a beautiful collage. And so I decided, yeah, we're going to do sort of this illustrative collage for each of the oracle card designs. So looking at it here, the first thing I was picking up, I was seeing sort of like an interesting creature, and it kind of looked like a squid. So as soon as I name it in my head, I'm like, okay, that's what it is, even if it's just a black blob moving around. Like, it looks like a squid to me. So squid, when I looked it up, when I was studying Squid Game, I used it as a reference for my Pluto and Capricorn video. Squid is about strategy in a game. So it's about being strategic. So part of your January is going to involve you being strategic. The specific words I chose, or the phrase I chose, was strategic flow. Strategic flow. And now, I didn't write any notes about the black ink, but I saw the squid spurting out like black ink. And I don't know, I didn't look it up. I didn't really see as to why the squid does that. I'm just going to lean in intuitively here. But I think part of it is it is a camouflage protective measure it takes when it's trying to get away from its enemies. The ink itself can be reused. We actually did dissect a squid back when I was in 5th grade when I lived in Hawaii. And I think we were supposed to do something with the ink. But yeah, that was, we dissected a squid. Some people dissected frogs. I did not dissect a frog. I dissected a squid when I was in 5th grade. Oh, okay. My alarm just went off on my phone. So yeah, maybe we'll tie that into what is coming for your month of January. So heads up, there's going to be, you're going to need to be flexible for whatever is coming in the month of January. It's going to call for you to be alert and aware. Yes, actually, that was what I saw with the wolf. So let's just finish talking about the squid. When we look at this oracle card design, the squid looks so adorable. There are different squids that were showing up, but this one absolutely looks so cute, and his eyes are just like wide open, and he's just kind of staring innocently And all of these animals and creatures, whenever I get animal references, usually animals are very present, right? Because they're not on their cell phones being distracted by an insane amount of information. They're just kind of in nature, in the present moment. And I think that's going to be important for you in the month of January, is they want you to be alert and aware of your environment, circumstances, or the situation that you are in, because you're being called to be strategic, which means you're being called to engage, participate, and kind of see where your place is or how you're going to adapt. I think the squid is also connected to adapting to the situation. So I also saw a wolf who he was observing in the crystal, is what I saw. And he looked like he was staring behind the bush, and he looked like he was just kind of watching. And the word that comes to mind is clandestine. So clandestine. He was being sort of discreet. So this isn't overt staring. This isn't overt watching, or what do you call it when you're just like gawking? It's not gawking. It's just kind of like observing. And this might just have to do with like a new environment, different space, different people you're around, or it's almost like a sense. Like, you know how sometimes we can just kind of sense for what's in the air? I think Source really wants you to sense what is in the air so you know what to do and where to move. Because this is not a time to be like thoughtless about just doing things, or just like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They want you to be strategic, right? They want you to plan it out. They want you to think it through. So there's this energy of planning, preparation, and maybe just in general for the year. This is a time maybe to kind of like observe the circumstances so you can see, okay, how are you going to approach the rest of the month? How are you going to approach the rest of the year? You know, what's your intuitive game plan, so to speak? Where do you want to invest your time and your energy? So you have to get a sense first for what you're being called to do. And his ears are straight up. So senses, ears, eyes, nose, like really be tuned in. Six senses are most accurate sense when we know how to use it well. It's our best antenna for anything. So we also have a squirrel here in the background, and he's building blocks. So I saw like a squirrel-like creature who was building blocks. And it's kind of interesting to think about how it's a squirrel that's doing this, because squirrels sometimes are referenced as having short attention spans, right? They're kind of flitty here and there, everywhere. They're a little, they have this bit of anxious energy about them. If you scare a squirrel, he'll kind of scatter away up the tree and disappear for protection. But this squirrel in particular is building something. He's focusing on building a sort of it looks like a bit of a rocky tower there, like Jenga. But I was kind of getting this fun play. You know, kids are building blocks and they're playing with things. I think really Source wants you to just play in this month of January. Play with things, try things out. If you're starting like a new job or a new passion project of sorts, play with it. They want you to play with it. They want you to see what you can do. And I think there's something about this month that's going to set the tone for the year for you creatively. Okay, I think that's all I'm picking up for that. Ink can also be referencing writing, throat chakra, information, gathering information, ink. Inking, when we ink things, usually it's like permanent, or it has a strong contrast. So I think this is your time to put a mark on it, right? Like really mark what, like in your journal, what it is that you're wanting to do. Set your intentions for what you're wanting to create in this 2026 year. Okay, so the other notes I had, yes, I had this energy of someone like opening up. It felt like feminine strength. Grace, pillar. So I was getting this feminine energy that is of grace and is a pillar. That feels very Capricorn to me. According to Vedic Astrology, Capricorn season starts right in the middle of January, right around there. So maybe you're being called to really embrace that Capricorn-like energy where you are in your feminine strength. Capricorn is technically a feminine sign. You're infusing grace into it, and this allows you to be a pillar for yourself and for others. I wrote here that the wolf is also, wolf dog, is sleeping, waiting, watching. restful. So this month of January is not calling, because I'm getting this playful energy. You know, kids aren't aggressively playing, okay? Like playtime is like a little 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there. You know, kids aren't like aggressively and intensely trying to play. So I think this year, this month, don't put this pressure on yourself to get things done. They want you to just kind of lean into the energy, because this month will call for you to exercise rested alertness. They need you to kind of soak up the energy first, soak up the environment, tune into your intuition before you take action here. And that might also be the advice, because we got some strong Sagittarius energy kicking off at the beginning of the year. Usually, you know, at that point, especially with Mars being there, people want to like be impulsive. They just want to take action and do things. And they're like, no, hold back. Don't just act on things, like take your time. The Squid Game reference, as well as the squirrel building block, is also a reference to this energy is that life is playful. Life is playful. Life is a game. Don't take it so seriously. Cute squirrel creature putting shapes together. Play, start of the year, start building your vision. Yeah, start building your vision, putting a home together. So you could be putting a home together, you can be putting your passion projects together, whatever, all of the above, perhaps. There is definitely energy in building something, building towards your vision, building blocks. Building blocks are about foundations. So January is going to be about setting those initial foundations for the rest of the year. And this energy of collage, where we're just kind of like piecing things together, is always heart-centered. I get that collage is like a heart-centered craft. That's what I picked up in my meditations a lot and often. It's a very heart-centered craft, because we're crafting together things that are like familiar to us, that we're interested in, things that are, you know, connected to our memories, is what is made of collages. Okay, let's go ahead and pull some cards for you, group number 1. See what wants to come through for your January. Hi. Okay, so the first thing we have here is the Six of Pentacles, Charity, and we got Stinginess. Okay. Let's pull another card for you. Oh, nice. We have here Queen of Pentacles. Yes. What did I say? Feminine strength, grace pillar, Capricorn energy coming through. Okay. That's beautiful. You know, I love that, because when I did the 4 parts series, the Queen of Pentacles did come out. She didn't come out first. But I'm getting this energy of intention and definitely owning this. Every time we go through seasons with like Capricorn energy or any of the earth signs, it's opportunities for us to embody that energy a little bit better. And Capricorn energy is like that culmination of strength, of materialism here. But Capricorn energy, all the earth signs, the priority there is your health. You being stable. It's not about how much money you have in your bank account. Okay, let me see if I'm picking up anything with these cards here. Well, immediately I went to the rugs and I went to the different colors and how unique that is. Like, this feels like it's very eclectic. It feels like she went to, you know, I know they have places in like the Middle East who are, or maybe like Morocco or something, where they have like beautiful textures, their textiles, beautiful fabrics that are very unique to, you know, as opposed to the US, where, you know, we get everything made or manufactured at companies that use very cheap polyester. So this feels like thick materials, eclectic materials that are very unique to you and what you like. So I'm hearing like, what do you want? What do you like? What are you interested in? What do you want to do? What's your colors? Like, really play this month in terms of like, what are you feeling? What are you what are you interested in? And it looks like she's focusing with this pentacle in her hand, like it's a disc, like she wants to throw it, or she's trying to figure out where to throw it towards. She's focusing. So focus on the vision. Where do you want to direct your goals? With the Six of Pentacles Charity, this means that you will be protected, you are safe, secure. You know, I already mentioned that before I started the pick a card readings, maybe because that really wanted to come through as a reminder for us stepping into January here, is that you are being taken care of and sources consistently providing for you, but this is an exchange. They need you to embody stability. they need you to be safe, secure, let go of fear, because fear is a construct. It's not real. You know, it's very convincing. Like, it's easy for me to say. It's not like I don't feel fear. I absolutely do. I just have to remind myself it's not real. And there are times where I really don't care. You know, I just shrug off situations, and that's great. But, you know, there are definitely situations where I subconsciously lean back into fear based off of my previous patterns. And I have to remind myself of those lessons I've been learning. But it takes time to embody that sense of safety and security. Okay, let's go ahead and keep pulling some cards for you guys. Looking at your January, group number 1. Okay, we got Crackshot. Nice. We got Capricorn energy. Look at that. It's accurate channeling. We have here competent, superior, expert. Yeah, focus. Focus on the goals. Focus on what you want to do. Focus on hitting your target. We have here child, fixed, stubborn, inner child, do what you love, explore, boundless energy, time to play. Yep. So this is all the fixed signs: Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Here, I'll let you guys look at that a little closer. Sometimes I forget to hold these to the camera so that you can see what it looks like. Yeah, I think I looked up this. So there's like a woman, she was like a expert shot or shooter, and she died young. I think the person that she married he died right after she died because he was really depressed about her not being there. But she was a woman and she could shoot like better than the men. And yeah, it's just really interesting. But she was, you know, there's not a lot of women out there doing what she was doing because it just wasn't common for women to participate in what they consider to be male activities. So I think she did that because she wanted to do what she wanted to do. She wanted to follow her passion. You know, she wasn't thinking about what everyone else wanted her to do. So I think Source is definitely reminding you for this month of January, remember who you are and remember that you have inbuilt natural gifts and a natural path that's meant for you, separate from other people's opinions about what you do and how you approach it. Yeah. So tune into your inner child here. This is a fixed energy. So fixed energy is like, this is what I want, right? So Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus are signs that are very good at just focusing on their passions and the things that they're interested in and staying consistent versus being all over the place, changing their mind, changing their approach. Nothing wrong with those energies. It's just that these are the signs that fulfill the vision, that see it through because they follow through. So I'm hearing follow through. You know, 2025 was a preparation for you being downloaded with that dream that is yours, that's always been yours, and you removing all of that, that rubble that was blocking you from accessing your true goals, your true path. Now that you've removed that rubble, you can walk that path here. But sometimes it takes courage to finally walk the path and do the thing that we really wanted to do. Because we're like, oh, I was so used to, you know, people disagreeing with me or telling me what not to do. Okay, let's go ahead and pull some cards here. We have here Sage, be devoted and committed. Yes, for sure. Devotion and commitment. He's writing down, right? He's writing down. I was talking about the ink. He's using a peacock feather, and it's interesting because I got a feather here today. I don't even know if this is real. It came in some sort of package of some, I think so. Or did I find it on the ground? Okay, it might be one or the other. I like it. It's soft. But he's writing with a peacock feather. The peacock is supposed to be representative of sort of that Leo energy. And something else I mentioned, my Monster Inside series, I kept saying Pisces, which I'm like, it doesn't really matter. I think peacock looks very Piscean, like Pisces people would wear those colors. But I also think the peacock is Leo too. It's like eclectic, different, standing out. And Leo can be very much that, like eccentric, unique. So he's writing down his unique ideas and the things that really mean something to him. And he's staying devoted and committed to this vision for his life, the sage. So be the sage, you know, that's the teacher-student energy. Be this teacher's student. Okay, I got one more card I'm going to pull here from this deck. we have a mystic. Oh, I love that. So very magical, mystical month for you. The mystic is who we all are. The mystic, it takes courage to be a mystic. Most people are terrified of doing this because of, societal expectations. But yeah, most people are absolutely terrified to be a mystic because they are just so afraid that society's not going to accept them for who they are. And that's just not true. So the light attribute revels in intimate union with the divine. The shadow attribute is delusional rapport with the divine. So, the way that you know it's delusional is if it's just not aligning with reality. Some people, they dive into meditations and visions and stuff to escape reality. I get it. I have 3 planets in 12th house. I do like escapism. But, what has always showed up for me is that the more I dive in, the more real life becomes, the more I understand what's actually real. And that's how you know you're more in alignment, is if diving in shows you the reality of what life is. This isn't a wishful fantasy of what you want it to be. It's more like the reality is that life is this. The beautiful thing about reality is that you don't have to be fearful. That's a construct. So you are a mystic. You're this beautiful, magical, creative being who is connected to divine. You guys have a beautiful connection to divine. They're really highlighting this to lean into that. Lean into your beautiful connection with the divine and let it guide you, because this is a very unique path made for you. This isn't like someone can tell you what to do. No, they cannot. I can't even tell you what to do. You can tell yourself. All right, let's go ahead and roll the Astro dice to close out your reading. Okay, we got Pluto and Virgo in the 2nd house. Okay, so immediately they're taking us to that earth energy resources. There's transformation and shifts that are happening around your resources. So we have here, so Pluto is about a death and a rebirth, shifts and changes. The energy doesn't feel like deadly to me. It feels more like transformative in a positive way, and it feels like more of the reveal of the light at the end of the tunnel after you've gone through that dark night of the soul here. Even Virgo energy can be a lighthearted energy where it brightens things up because it's like Mercurian, it's a little bit more lighthearted, and Virgo is about purification, so it's about cleansing the water, so you start to see more clearly what works and what doesn't work. In the 2nd house, this is about your self-worth, your personal values. So, if you have any kind of planets in the 2nd house, usually you're going through some intensive lessons, perhaps karmically with your family, where you're understanding your own value and your own worth. So Queen of Pentacles really understands her own value. She understands that she's priceless. She understands that she's the divine child and that she is a servant of divine. And by being a servant of divine, she becomes a queen. By being a servant to divine, we become kings and queens. So divine just wants to put out that reminder message to you to remember that you are a divine child, but you're also very capable. They're giving us queen energy here. So they're saying that you're in charge of your, the unfolding of your destiny. You're a guide, you're guarding it. So think of, I'm hearing your guides. Your guides guide you, right? It's like they know everything. They have all the answers. Yeah, that's you. That's you in human form. You're in training to be just like them. So don't go around being like, I don't know what to do. If you make yourself vulnerable like that, energies will come in and take advantage of that when you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. No, divine trains you to be secure in yourself. That's how you know you're on the right path, because you're becoming more confident, more secure, more patient, more trusting. That's how you know that's the true path of divine. It shouldn't be flimsy. It shouldn't be emotional, erratic, volatile. We have those moments in life. That's not consistently what we should be embracing on a day-to-day basis. Our mind should be finding more quiet spaces naturally, just falling into that frequency. So your own personal value should feel priceless. It should feel pure. I think when we really understand our true value, it resets to this pure state of that divine child. So now you're no longer marked by this need for status. I don't know, I'm hearing all of these different ideas right now, like status. We don't care about that. We don't care about what society thinks about what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. We already have an impeccable amount of value for ourselves. Also, Pluto is a power planet. January is going to be about you definitely owning your power. Owning your power, your natural power. Natural power is not dominating anyone. It's not dominating you. You're not like, I have to get so much attention to feel powerful. That's not power. You know, power is, it's modest, it's humble, it's easy, like it's flowy. It's in that sense. It has utmost integrity. That's power, true power. Okay, I hope you gained a lot from that reading. Group number 1, I'm going to go ahead and move on to group number 2. Like, subscribe to support, comment down below if you want to, and best of luck for your January 2026. Bye. Hey, group number 2, welcome to your reading. So it looks like you guys chose level completion with the green creature at the center of it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my notes as well as what I was channeling with your crystals. So you guys got the gold stone here. And I've been waiting to feel energy with this crystal because I wanted so badly to use it because I added it to my collection, right? And I wanted to use it, but for some reason there were just no readings that called for it until this one. So I'm excited. Okay, so the first thing I saw when I was doing your meditation, I saw dancing triangles. Oh my gosh. For those of you who have been following me for some time, you know I like my dancing triangles. Okay, I haven't seen dancing triangles in a minute, but I was seeing dancing triangles. And I was like, ooh, this is like a refresh energy, because I started seeing dancing triangles when I was like really learning to trust my intuition, and I was learning how it worked and operated. So that showed me that you guys are getting a level up. It's almost like, you know, you completed a level and then you're going to get to do the same thing, but at a higher level. So you're getting a promotion here. In starting at the first month of the year, you are being promoted into your new position, dancing triangles. So I wrote here, intuitive discovery learning. So it's going to be a bit of a discovery session, discovery phase. So a discovery session is usually what a coach would schedule with a client so that they can meet up for like 15 minutes, get to know each other, vibe with each other, feel out each other's energy to see if they want to work with each other in the future. And it's so fun because a discovery session is like when you get to meet people for the first time and feel into their energies, and everything just feels really nice and exciting, right? It feels a lot lighthearted because there's not this official commitment yet going in. It's just like, oh, okay, let's just see if this is the right fit. So January is going to give you this energy of feeling when it comes to like your situation, environment, or just personal passion projects for yourself. This is going to give you the opportunity to see what feels like the right fit for you. How would you like to approach it? Because this is going to set the tone for the rest of the year. Now, this takes me back when I ended my year for 2024. That was when I was like, I got to get into these deep dives. That was my goal. I need to start getting into these deep dives. I want to understand the depths of astrology like I haven't ever before. And oh my goodness, I fell in love with it. It was just so fun to do. I was like obsessed. Every video I made, I was just obsessed. And I'm like, if only there were more time in the day, but I was like, it's fine. I have the rest of my life to study every planet, every transit. So I'm going to always pace myself and take my time with it. That's why I don't really relate to people when there's like, you're just like posting constantly. I'm just like, don't you want to like milk it? Like celebrate the topic. I rewatch my videos all the time just so I can like relearn it again. I rewatch my Saturn Pisces videos like so much time. You know, my videos are like on average 1 to 2 hours. I rewatch those things because it's like a way for me to, as a student, soak it up. So that's the energy I'm picking up for January. If it feels very exciting for you, you're going to surprise yourself. I was hearing surprise. You might surprise yourself because you might end this year thinking, oh, I'm going to do this. And then in January, you might get clarity for what you really feel called to do and decide to pivot. Because I was kind of picking that up for group number 1 too. I was like, why is Source calling us to be so like observant and watchful? And I think that's because there's a pivot coming. There's a twist, you know, like a little plot twist coming here in the beginning of the year, where I think it's good. You know, plot twists can be frustrating at times, but this energy feels quite playful. Like even the dancing triangles feels like, oh, okay, we're doing this, we're doing that. But I'm getting that you're going to be learning something, but you're going to be having so much fun learning it because it's going to feel refreshed and new, like you haven't done it before. It's going to feel very youthful and alive. So there's this energy of excitement. When we look at our creature here, I think, oh yes, I was holding the goldstone, and I was like, this shape reminds me of, I heard Furby, and then I heard Flubber. So I think the Furby is like a little toy thing. I don't know if it was like a bird. You can look that one up, but I felt more connected to Flubber. Either way, they're like childhood toys or childhood figurines. So Flubber was a movie that came out with Robin Williams, and I heard it didn't do very good, but I remember watching it numerous times, maybe on Disney Channel, and like he created and he invented this Flubber thing, and it had this like fun, playful like energy. It could kind of remold itself. And I think that's what Source wants you to be open to for this month of January, is to just be open to remolding yourself however, wherever, have fun, you know. So wherever you're at right now, let's say you have like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this on this day. I don't think that's going to be happening in January. I think you're going to pivot, and I think you're going to have fun pivoting, because you're going to prefer pivoting versus trying to be hard bent on sticking with a certain idea, concept, or a way of approaching something. So be open to that. Just like be ready. So when we're looking at your oracle card design here, he's jumping up in the sky, right? Because he's just completed his level. He's celebrating for this like kind of arcade like game vibe coming through. There's like sunshine beams coming out behind him. And then there's a city skyline or landscape behind him as well. So it feels like, you know, usually in the games, the creatures are like, they're jumping on the buildings. And I think Flubber did jump. Honestly, I don't remember Flubber that much. I have like one scene in my head. I don't remember any city things going on. But, you know, usually the creatures are like jumping from one building to the next, and they're collecting the coins or something. So I think starting into January, I feel like you're going to feel like celebrating what you experienced in 2025. You're going to be like, dang, I got through it, and I feel so proud of myself. And I feel like this energy is going to give you a boost, just like a good boost, a good way to start out, you know, the year with like positivity because of all the work that you've been putting into yourself thus far. And yeah, it's just feeling so fun, so playful, so lighthearted, flexible. So be flexible, have fun. You're graduating to level 2, which I know you'd be like, that's not a lot, but in Divine's world, level 2 is huge, because most people don't even try to get to level 1. Like, they don't even know that a level 1 exists. They don't even try it. So you guys have like actually committed to yourself. You learn so much, and that commitment is helping to promote you to a new venture. And you get to, you know how in the video games they move to a different space after they've completed that level? So like, let's say before he was in the city, now he's going to move to like space or something. You're getting like a new setting. So it's like all new. Everything's new. This energy of new territory. Yeah, I wrote it here. New territory. It's kind of funny how I channel my own notes. I look at my notes, I'm like, oh, I wrote that down. That's weird. Or not. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull some cards for you guys to see what else wants to come through for your reading. I was about to talk about the third oracle card design, because I was just like, I'm on a roll. Let's keep talking. How about pull some cards? Okay, your month of January, group number 2. That pull was so funny. Okay, we have the Justice card. So decision, indecision. We have here the Sun card. Yes, sunbeams. We got the Lovers. Oh my, you got 3 major arcanas. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you immediately, as soon as January starts, group number 2, you guys are like feeling the vibes. You're feeling yourself, feeling yourself. There's this kind of revelation that's coming, and it's going to be confirmed. So I might be talking about it right now to you, but it's going to be confirmed in January. You're going to just feel a revelation zing through your body where you're like, gosh dang, I've been working at this and here I am, and I'm proud of myself. It's interesting how this Sun card has 2 people in it. So it says your revelation, and reverse it says lies. Oh, okay. Interesting. And then we have here the Lovers, which also has a couple on it, I think. Yeah. The way that I discussed it is that it didn't come with a book, but you have to scan the barcode to get to the book. So maybe I'll check it out and figure out why the author chose these word choices that she designed with the images. But we have a female here, a male. She's holding his hand, and then we have a king here, and he has his hand on his shoulder. So it looks like he's giving approval to their union. Yeah, we have this like duality playing out because we got the Justice card, which is about the balance scale. So something about finding, that right energy with your masculine and feminine, finding that balance figure, and that all aligning to this peak point of like, oh, this is who I am. This is who I am. I get it. It just kind of clicks into place. So you're definitely going to be feeling like yourself, not just feeling yourself. You're going to be feeling like yourself, your true self, in the month of January. And you're going to feel this desire to recommit to the vision and feel aligned with your choices and your decisions. I'm hearing a confirmation. You're getting a confirmation for the choices that you've been making consistently up until now. You're going to get confirmation for that. In the month of January, you're going to see that you made the right choices for you. Especially if it was you being true to yourself. True to your heart, true to your heart. So, that Disney song from Mulan. You've been true to your heart, true to yourself. And this is going to open doors for you. Anything else I'm channeling here? Yeah, be honest. Just being honest with yourself. That's going to keep paying off. Continue to be honest with yourself. Yeah, relationships don't work unless people are honest. Not like in a judgmental, people are like, you need to be honest. Like, there are some things I'm like, you could have kept in your head. Honesty just means being open, right? Being open about what's working, what's not working, what we can do, what we need to work on. That helps to keep a relationship going. So this is your relationship with yourself, and this is your relationship with divine and life itself. You have been honest about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some cards for you guys. Oracle cards. Yeah, and I was talking about being in love with, doing things. So it's like being in love with life, being in love with the choices you make. We have here, Lord, take charge with authority. So this is the Emperor card. For this deck, we got Aries energy coming through. Okay. So very beautiful, strong, authoritative energy coming through for this month, where this is also the advice you're being called to take. Like, this is not a time to be doing what everyone else wants you to do, and they're like, oh, you should do it like this. Why don't you do this? No. I'm actually hearing that this is going to be an opportunity to really recommit to yourself, because, someone might come to you and just question it. They might question your choices. People always have an idea for our life. No one can tell you how to live your life. Not anyone. That's why you plug into source, you plug into divine, you learn how to use your antenna, because no one should be able to persuade you to do things they want you to do. I mean, that has nothing to do with it. But first of all, that's like a violation of personal space, okay? First of all, it's like when people are telling you what to do or how to do it, how to live your life, I'm like, they don't know it. But that's a violation. That's like when you connect with divine, you start to realize you just can't go around telling people how to live their life. It's a violation. Sensitive souls feel this. That's why we're just like, oh, if you want to, because we know that we're sensitive when people tell us what to do. We're like, huh? we have to be free, right? So this is about you redirecting yourself. As soon as January enters, be ready. Come ready is what I'm hearing. Come ready. Okay. Let's go ahead and post some more for ya. Ooh, we got the castle. Nice. 6 Sagittarius, castle, pride, recognition, position, praise for achievements, ego, wealth, ancestry. Okay, power. That's what the castle is about. It's about authentic power. Authentic power. Authentic power is found, the castle is representation of your soul. Each level of the castle is you leveling up, right? So Carolyn Miss, Teresa of Avila talks about this. Teresa of Avila, I think, lived during the 1500s, medieval times. She was a nun. She wrote a book called The Interior Castle, and how each level, 7 levels of consciousness, 7 levels, you are challenged with something different. So level 1 is just fear, survival. Level 2 is different. Level 2 is where you're pursuing more of your dreams, right? You're pursuing more of things that you really want to do. Now, I channeled my own version of the levels of consciousness, PDF, downloadable in the description. If you're interested, go ahead. It's free. It's available for anyone who wants it. I just created it because it was fun. So if you want to learn about the 7 levels of consciousness, second level is, so like first level is like survival. Second level is when you're entering into taking charge, using your willpower, right? So Lord, Aries energy, this is about willpower to redirect your life. So what I channeled more of like the surface level stuff. Now, when we're tuning in with the divine, we kind of reset like babies, right? So the first thing when we're tuning in with divine, we need to get past this survival. Now, I want to share this. Manifestation coaches. Just because someone can teach you to manifest whatever, whenever, doesn't mean that they are operating at a higher level of consciousness. There's like, it's almost like, there's like stories. Okay, so let's just say there's 7 towers. So the first tower is like surface level stuff. So this is where the peak of life is accumulating all this wealth and stuff. Okay, well, the next tower is more committed to divine. So you let go of all the material stuff. You reset again, and you start from the basics. You start from survival, and you move your way up. But now you're seeing it from a different lens. You're not seeing it from the lens of, like, you're actually starving. You're not starving, it's just fear. Now you feel it as fear. It's a concept. So just because you're on level 1, moving past fear, it doesn't mean that you don't know how to manifest, or you're not... No. When you first commit to divine, you reset. You go back to survival. But you're not going to literally be surviving and homeless. That will not happen to someone who knows who they are. It cannot happen. The first thing that's going to happen is fear. You're going to have to get over fear. Fear of not following societal expectations, fear of people disagreeing with you and telling you, the way that you're living is wrong. Fear of not having resources provided to you as you're devoting your life to divine. So most people don't even get to devoting their life to divine. They're devoted to money. They're devoted to validation. They're devoted to attention. They're addicted to attention. So they don't even get a chance to have a genuine connection with divine because they're given all their energy, their life force to attention and to money, which is nothing. People really think that making a lot of money is something. It doesn't mean anything. This world's an illusion. Why on earth would you worry about making money? Especially when you know you're a divine child and you understand that by the nature of divine, you're always provided for. Once you understand that, you will always be provided for the rest of your life. This isn't something you have to negotiate. Divine doesn't all of a sudden, we changed our mind, because it's about truth. Once you align with the truth of always provided for. And they build you into it. One level at a time. So they get you past level 1, fear. They help you work through that, and then they promote you to level 2. Okay. Passionate about this. She's passionate about this. All right, so let's go ahead and see group 2, what wants to come through for you guys. We have here the Martyr. Yeah. So the Martyr has good aspects to it. Let's read what those aspects, positive aspects and traits are. Learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Not easy. It's not easy to give up egoic materialistic desires for the cause. The cause. And being of service. Not easy, but doable. So society always presents things one way, right? So they might say, oh, a martyr's bad, right? You're sacrificing yourself. But there's always a positive to everything, believe it or not. There's a positive to everything. There's a simple explanation, like there's a simple divine, peaceful divine explanation to everything, even psychopaths, even killers. Well, when you see it from a higher perspective, it's not emotional anymore. It's not dramatic. It's just energy. So this is energy, floaty, beautiful, iridescent. So just like this guy is floating, look, he's got triangles pointing at him and he's floating in the air. And he's got 2 flowers. Interesting, because I got 2 flowers. That is freaky when things like that happen. Very synchronistic. I got 2 flowers on the thumbnail page. He's got like 2 roses here. And then he's got these triangles. Dancing triangles, yes. So I wanted more like the dancing triangles. I chose sunbursts instead around the flubber thing because it just looks better. I tried to do the triangles. I couldn't get it to look right. Kind of wish I had added a couple though. Or a few. So the shadow attribute is addiction to self-pity. Yeah. Yeah, so in the month of January, as soon as your year starts, this is your opportunity to feel transcendent, or you can feel sorry for yourself. But, I mean, either way, you're leveling up. Like, you're leveling up, you graduated, you completed level 1 of this journey of growing within yourself, and this is just kind of where the general collective is. Sometimes I try to figure out what is my role in this, because I feel like I'm learning, but I also feel like I know it at the same time, and I think it's both. I think I do know it, but I also think I'm integrating it alongside everybody else. It's very interesting how that works. Yeah, so learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or cause. Yeah, I just heard I couldn't fast forward my life even if I wanted to, because Divine already has a pace for my life that I wouldn't say I don't have any say in. It's just I already agreed to it. Let's just say that. I already signed on the dotted line. I said, yeah, I will devote myself to this, Divine. Sure. But sometimes it causes a lot of, friction or frustration, because you're just like, why can't I just be like everybody else? I have those days. Not as much, but they definitely come up. Okay. I'm still, like I said, I'm integrating it with the rest of the collective. I feel like I already know this stuff, but it literally is integrating very slowly into my system, just like everybody else. But it also allows me to compassionately move through this with everybody else without thinking like I'm superior. Because I'm like, I'm figuring it out with you guys. We're all figuring it out together, I guess. Okay. So yeah, very beautiful transcendent energy is coming through for your month of January. Just know that this commitment to this is powerful. You're not going to have to worry about all the other things. You're not going to have to worry about validation, attention, settle expectations. You're not going to have to worry about all of these weird programs they have about relationships and, all these other confusing things. You don't have to worry about that stuff because that's not relevant. What's relevant is you're committed to yourself, and your commitment to yourself is your commitment to divine. Okay, let's close out your reading. We got here Jupiter in the first house in Aries. Whoa, fiery, spicy. Okay. Yeah, so that's the teacher. That's an exemplary teacher, but not quite an exemplary teacher so much. It's a teacher by example. Someone who leads by example, very much Aries. A teacher who leads by example, not by trying to claim they know everything and they're writing 20 million books. They're just like living the experience, and they're the example for themselves and their example for other people on how it's done. Yeah, so January is going to feel very blessed. You're going to be feeling blessed. You're going to be feeling expansive. You're going to be feeling passionate, excited, ready to move forward, to learn, right? Discovery. This literally is what I wrote, intuitive discovery learning. There you go. That's what your month of January is going to be. I hope you enjoyed that. Group number 2, like, subscribe, or comment down below to support. Thank you for being with me. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hey, group number 3, welcome to your reading. So if you guys chose Betty Boop, then we're going to talk about you. What's going on for your month of January? The crystal that I got for your group is moss agate. Moss agate. Moss agate. Yes. When I first started meditating, the first thing I saw was sort of I got this like superhero energy, and it felt feminine. So I was seeing like a heart and like arms coming from it. Felt very feminine. Felt very kind of like Power Ranger. So, you know, Power Rangers are about their power, their energy. Yet at the same time, it's this youthful energy. It's young because it's Power Rangers. I was getting this. I heard this phrase, I can do anything. I can do anything. I think you're going to be feeling like you can do anything in the month of January. If not, that is your advice, is to know that you can do anything that you set your mind to. That, let me say it like this, you can do anything that divine has downloaded into your mind. For sure. The next thing I was seeing in the crystal with the moss agate here, I was seeing a feminine figure. It looks like she had like 2 buns on the side, and I was like, oh, very cute. She felt like cute, powerful girl energy. So maybe like Powerpuff Girls or Betty Boop is what popped into my head. And it was interesting because she was holding on to a skeletal fish. I was like, oh, interesting. So the fish energy is about just going with the flow and intuition. I'm not really sure. Skeletal. Okay, I wrote down something for skeletal. Didn't I? Feeling open. Skeletal. Well, skeletal energy is about the bones. It's kind of Saturnian bones. Yeah, I mean, it's also interesting because the bones in a fish can be slightly different. So when we get an x-ray and we get to see into the bones of something, we are seeing through it. So to me, that's about transparency. Yes, I wrote that right there. It says fluid transparency. So this month of January, I feel like your energy is going to feel quite open and transparent. You are going to have a very honest conversations with yourself. You're going to be channeling very honest ideas with yourself about what you feel called to do, who you're feeling called to be. And I feel like it's going to be important to take advantage of this energy. I think journal it, write it down, because that's going to be setting the intention for the rest of the year for you. Even though we're getting this sort of cute girl, we're also getting this energy of strong, cute on the outside, strong on the inside. And then that's when I channeled Betty Boop. Oh, and then when I looked her up, I was like, oh, because I honestly didn't. I had a friend, a neighbor who lived downstairs. She's my best friend, and she had a collection of like toys with Betty Boop. And I think that was because she was influenced by her mother to be interested in Betty Boop. Her mother was a little bit older. You know, some parents have their kids a little bit older later in life. Her mom was a bit older than my parents, so she had older tastes and things like antiques. Her house was always very nice with antiques and like decor, whatnot. The other energy I was getting with this little girl is she felt comfortable and safe. Comfortable and safe. I was also picking somewhat of a cosmic energy. Magic. So Betty Boop, let me go ahead and share what I found in ChatGPT. She began as a dog-like creature that evolved to a human woman. So, you know, dogs have those like eyes. I think it looks so like adorable and cute and just like open and playful and fun. So I like that she had that energy of the dog, because that's kind of what I was channeling for Betty Boop. She has these like doe-like, innocent-like eyes. Yet, the sensuality is saying otherwise. So she gives off this energy of sweet, flirtatious, playful, independent, and I wrote cat-like. Very much a cat. Even though they're talking about a dog, I'm like, I'm getting a bit cat here from Betty Boop. She symbolizes female sexuality and innocence. So around the 1930s, she was supposed to be this like rebellious representation of women at the time. So the flapper girl women, they were feeling very rebellious. She was supposed to be that. But by the time 1934 rolled around, they wanted to censor her image. So they wanted her to look a little bit more like everybody else. But I'm hearing you might want to be the first version, the original version, and stick with that. After that, I heard the phrase in my head, I'm a big kid now. And that's from, I think, PBS Kids. I used to watch as a kid. I'm a big kid now. I think that's how Source wants us to always see ourselves. They don't want us to take ourselves too seriously. They don't want us to be like just kids, because that could be too immature. But you're a big kid. So that means that even though you have this youthful energy, you also take accountability for your choices. So take accountability for your choices. You're a big kid now. You're getting promoted. Going back to Betty Boop, she represents joy, freedom, self-expression. These are powerful qualities during that time of change. But I think you're going through a powerful time of change as well. We have the flapper girl energy, jazz age rebellion. I was cracking up at that. The fact that the jazz age was considered a rebellion. Well, it was, right? You got the bit-a-da. So Betty Boop is like, she does a bit of that scatting. I don't know. I can't do it. Something like that. And I wrote, still classy. Because, you know, jazz music is very classy. You know, there's something very classy to it. When I think of the word classical or classy, I think of classical knowledge, ancient knowledge, truth will always be classy. You know, divine children will always be classy because they're always tied to that ancient knowledge. There's something about them that is, I don't know, it comes off as otherworldly at times, but rebellious at the same time. Okay, let's go ahead and pull some cards. Oh, sorry, I didn't really talk about the card too much. I put a sun behind her. She has the ocean that's supposed to represent flow. I like the pose. There are a lot of different poses, but this pose felt confident. The energy that you're being called to embrace for January, or what you're going to be embodying naturally, is cute but powerful. Playful but powerful. That's what they want you to embody. This energy allows you to be receptive. It allows you to be powerful without trying to be intimidating, without trying to simulate false power or distorted power, inauthentic power. And it's interesting that the Strength card has a woman on it. Isn't that interesting? It's a woman. Women naturally embody a lot of strength within themselves without having to look strong. So our strength comes from inside. It doesn't have to look like an armor. You know, people do their hair a certain way or clothes, or you don't have to do any of that to represent strength. You know, strength is literally just a frequency. It's an energy. It's a comfortability of just being in your body and being yourself and being in this world. The sun energy is about emanating this confidence. So, you know, wear what you want to wear, do what you feel called to do, but be yourself while doing it. Be confident is what Source is telling you. So yeah, you may be feeling sweet, flirtatious, playful, and independent in your month of January. Okay, let's see what else wants to come through for you. We have here the Knight of Swords, decisive, Page of Cups, curious. Yes, so that's that cutesy energy, right? Cutesy curious. And we have decisive, Knight of Swords. So when we're not decisive, we are fanatical, I guess. So we're indecisive, like our mind's all over the place, or it's spinning, just a lot of thoughts. I'm hearing dogmatic thoughts running through us. And if we're not curious, we're confused. Yeah, so just be open, be receptive. There's no need to put this pressure on yourself to accomplish great heights and great goals. That's never the goal. I'm like, if we're ever thinking like that, it's too much stress. Too much stress. Let's like back it up. Okay? We gotta back it up. I got these, so funny, I got these bracelets on. You can't even see it because I got my long sleeves on. But yes, this is a month for you to embrace being decisive and choosing what you feel called to do, making your own choices, but at the same time not taking things too serious. Be flexible. Okay, let's go ahead and see what else wants to come through for you guys. As far as oracle cards go, we got Priest. Ooh, that's powerful. So we have here, facilitates spiritual commitment, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. Yes, that's the Piscean energy, the fish, the ocean. I was picking up. Yeah, and I also forgot that these archetype deck cards have a bit of a illustrative collage going on too. Facilitates spiritual commitment, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. The shadow attribute is violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. Yeah, the way that when we channel, we channel all the time naturally. It just flows. So what is my question to you, group number 3, would be, what is your spiritual commitment? We really have to think about that. Like, what are you spiritually committed to right now? Because we have an idea in our head. We have what we think or we thought we were supposed to be doing, but what do you actually feel called to naturally do? When I was deciding to get into this work and to take it more seriously, I was asking Source, like, is this what I should do? Because unless I can monetize it, I don't know if it's responsible for me to choose this pathway or to go this pathway or to really invest all my time and energy into this. And they were like, just do it. Just do it. This is what spiritual commitment is. It's not doing something because you're going to get a reward for it. It's doing something that you feel passionate about that is genuine. Here. So you're going to be you're being called to commit to your path. You're being called to commit to your spiritual life here, which is everything. That's the foundation for everything else that gets to unfold. And this means that you are a constant channel of energy. You're a vessel that's always receiving constantly. And so from that receptive energy, you take actions. You know, Divine has different... They're calling us to work on the same thing, but the literal work that we do or the action steps that we take is going to be individualized. And that's going to be based off of our own inner wiring that's happening. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and pull some more cards. We have here Fishing Pole, 9 Virgo, self-reliance, extend oneself, autonomy, mentoring others, poetry in motion, exploration, providing, connect with nature, accomplishment, reflection, self-improvement, and capable. You are capable. You are capable of accomplishing anything that you feel called to do, always. So this is going to be a month where you're pulling up your bootstraps and you're like, all right, let's do this. Let's do this. And again, I'm getting this energy of like committing to it without a reward, committing to it without it needing to look a certain way on the surface. Now, I'm going to reveal this because I'm hearing this strong right now. If you ever feel like you need a certain reward or an external validation of some sort, you are still on level 1. If you are still seeking any sort of compensation for the work that you do, I'm not telling you like charging for, I'm saying like, if that is your priority in life, then you're still on level 1. And that can sound a little controversial because that might confuse people because they're like, well, I don't charge for what I do. This world is magic. I know this. I've been putting it to test for almost 3 years now. No job. I was terrified of what was going to happen. But Source was like, do it. We got you. Because we're telling you to do it. We're telling you to commit to yourself. We're telling you to do the thing that is in your heart. We're not telling you to take misguided calculations or risk. We are telling you to take risk that will be worth taking. Divine does not make you take faulty risk. The only struggles I've had were the psychological ones, and it was the reactions from other people that was the hardest to deal with. But that is level 1. It's like learning how to get comfortable with letting go of that external validation from other people. And it's hard because we were programmed to seek it. If you are still seeking some sort of external validation, you're still in level 1. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. You can always get to level 2 any point in time, you can always work past level 1 and graduate past it at any point in time. But Divine does not give out handouts. It is an exchange. You do your part, they do theirs. So that's what I'm hearing. Like, it sounds like a little tough love, but it's not tough love because love is just love. It's more like just real. Like, that's, you put in the work, you get the outcome to that work. And the outcome is not about being a millionaire, a billionaire, gazillionaire. It's never been about that. It's never been about that. And letting go of that illusion is the hardest to let go. So I'm sorry for all those people who teach manifesting money and things. I'm telling you, they're still in level 1. I don't even know if they started level 1, honestly. Like, was it this group I was saying that it's divided into towers? I think they're still in a different set, like they're in a different room, a different tower of like level 6 of their life, and they think they're manifesting everything. And it's an illusion. It's another illusion. Your real life starts when you let go of this reality. The false reality. You let go of the matrix system and you are reborn into the true reality of how life actually works and who you actually are. And it's confirming. It's confirming. You feel confident about it because Divine is just like there guiding you and things are falling into place. It's not always idealistic to our egoic preference, but things are just falling into place. You become more confident. You're just like, whoa, it's working. They said it was going to work. I decided to do it because my heart was calling me to do it, and it's working. This is blowing my mind. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull. We have here Oracle. Yeah. Oracle, wait for important information. So this is that powerful reminder to not rush into choices or decisions, to just listen one step at a time. Now, this is how being an oracle works. You hear it in the messages and it resonates. You see a message in the sky and it resonates. You're journaling something and it resonates. And then there's patterns. You're journaling the same thing. You're thinking about the same thing or thought. You're noticing this like a certain lesson everywhere. That's the knowledge. So our knowledge is the information. You don't have to sit in meditation every day to be like, well, let me see what I can receive from source. Yeah, sometimes it's nice to play into the experience, but you don't need to, like they already told you. If you opened yourself up and you're constantly learning and you're understanding how life works, that is the knowledge. The knowledge is not a one-stop shop. The knowledge can be applied to every day of your life. That's how you know it's real, because it's applicable to every day of your life. That's the true knowledge. It's not just applicable on Thursdays and Saturdays. It's applicable to every single day of your life. That's how you know it's truth. So when you're 90 years old and you think about the advice that you received or you channeled in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever stayed the same was the truth. Whatever did not stay the same was the illusion, but that's fine. Because the whole point of this journey is to shed illusions little by little. And that's fine. Just patiently let it shed. You can't rush the process. You know, it doesn't matter if you're sitting in front of the best guru, best teacher ever. It's not going to matter if you're in a different place in your life. You know, we can only soak up so much. That's why it's important to follow the path and to move at a turtle pace, where it's taking you years just to get through level 1. I mean, once you wake up, I honestly think, I don't know if, okay, because I'm making predictions out there. I'm going to be like, level 1 is the easiest or level 1 is the hardest. I think level 1 is the hardest. I think level 1 is the hardest. I think once you can complete level 1, like level 2, level 3 is a lot, you know, it's like rinse and repeat. It's a constant rinse and repeating. At that point, you become so much more confident with the process. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all I really had to say about that, but just tune in divinely. Source is definitely here supporting you. We're getting that feminine strength again coming through. Let's go ahead and roll the Astro Dice to close out your reading. Fell out funny. Okay, we got Rahu, 11th house, Aries. Whoa, cool. So 11th house is about it could be like support systems. It could be our divine network equates to our net worth. So you didn't know that, huh? Some people think their net worth is their bank account. That's how deluded they are. They actually think their net worth is their bank account. That means that person thinks that they're worth what the heck is in their bank account. I'm like, divine children cannot be priced because they have a divine bank account. You know how Harry Potter realized he inherited all this gold? Yeah, it's like that, but unlimited. And it's about receiving the resources you need, not getting a million things at once and leaning into greed and then getting unbalanced because you have all this excess. And then you're like, well, I should do something with this excess. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who struggle with like the basics, like just being able to eat okay, not overeat. I'm like, if you're overeating, start there. That's a really good basic to master, not overeating. And then learning to eat good stuff, like learning to eat healthier things, finding a balanced place with your diet. So Rahu and Aries, and that's leadership. Yeah, you know, I should have said that to another group. They got Aries too. Well, I didn't say leadership, but I said something else. So that's leadership. I'm hearing stepping into a role, because that's someone who's leading a collective. Not to say that you have to join an organization to do this. We always lead by example. That's the best kind of leader, is just do the work, and then people are looking at you and they're like, oh, you're doing the work. That's kind of cool. And you're getting these kind of results. I'm also interested in creating these kind of results in my life. So I'm going to do these things, but it's becoming more apparent. You know, you could call it recognition, whatever. Honestly, it starts with you. So this is starting from personal acknowledgement of, oh, I'm ready to lead myself. So Rahu is about your North Node, right? This is like what you're being called to do. So wherever your Rahu is in your chart, that is what you're called to work on in that lifetime. No matter what, you're going to go through that experience. You're going to have to face it. And in the month of January, this is going to be an opportunity for you to embrace and embody more leadership for yourself. But what I love about this, there's something about like a Rahu in a first house maybe would be about personal promotion, right? And also Rahu is a promoter, so don't be afraid to promote your work. Go ahead and do that. Like if you want to share it, put it on the internet, post it. Because this is what divine calls us to do. They don't just like, oh, just channel whatever. I'm like, if you like creating content, go ahead and post the content and share the content with other people. There's no need to act shy here. You know, when you're truly following your passion, you want to share it, right? So 11th house is about sharing. I'm definitely picking up that energy of renewed, of confident sharing coming through for your month of January. Of just kind of stepping into this lighter, brighter energy. Yeah, this is definitely that energy of really coming out of the closet. Really coming out of the closet, like saying, this is who I am. Like, I am the priestess, I'm the priest. I am a channeler. This is my authentic self shining. Okay, we're going to go ahead and end it there, group number 3. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like, subscribe, or comment down below to support the channel. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.